Mighty 1090 primetime crossover.
Oh, God, here we go again. Dork alert.
Darren Smith.
I love that guy. He's great.
Scott and BR.
We live for this.
Yes, sir.
The Mighty 1090 primetime crossover, driven by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
.255 San Diego Sports Leader, the Mighty 1090. Do want to say thank you very much to all the great folks at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is our final appearance for 2014. We ended today in Santee. Been a fun afternoon out here. Tons of listeners in East County. We appreciate everybody for stopping by. And it's a great spot. If you couldn't make it today, 245 Town Center Parkway in Santee. It's our second time here. The place is spectacular. Beer, wings, sports. I'll miss those boneless wings next week, next Wednesday. It'll be like Pavlov. I'll wake up, I'll go, where are the wings? Where are the wings? Where are they? I've been so used to them now. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having us. All the different locations and Michigan, I can't name them all, but we've been all across the county. We do really appreciate that. And we thank you. We have a winner, our $350 to Unicorn Jewelry and Watch Boutique. Jordan, who is it?
We got Lane in San Diego.
And New, what were the answers? 7 mayors. Forget it.
Well, we
All
had
right, let's
7
go back.
mayors, 9 different proposals, and $15 million a year it's costing them.
Okay, thank you. There you go. 7 mayors, 9 proposals, 15 years. Do the math on that. Eventually, as much as you're skeptical of commentary that comes from Chargerland, eventually that has a finish line. Really does. Let's go back to the home base of the Mighty 1090. Say hello to Scott Kaplan and Billy Ray Smith. It is the crossover on the Mighty 1090. Hello, gentlemen.
Hashtag.
Hello, Darren.
Yeah, hashtag the crossover.
Got to hashtag it.
Yes. Yeah, we got to hashtag that. Yeah.
So you said yesterday you would tweet or retweet the video
I
link.
did. Why are you so impatient with that? Dude, can I get home and get through a yoga class without getting 50 different tweets from you about why I'm not retweeting it?
Well, it took you an
Dad,
hour.
don't interrupt the guy's yoga class,
Jeez, I mean,
dude.
what's with you today?
Come on.
Well, plus I'm not an irresponsible driver. I don't tweet while I'm driving. They didn't tweet the link out, and I was on the 805 freeway.
You were. It
Mom.
really took you an
You're
hour.
like a mom
40.
yesterday. Like you're like my mom, just nagging and nagging and nagging yesterday. Nag, retweet. Ugh, brutal.
Jordan, clip
It
that
did
out
take-
so we could send it to Darren's mom.
Yeah.
I didn't say my mom. I said
Tell her
a
what,
mom.
What a nag she is.
All right, let me amend that. You sound like my ex-wife. Just like nag and nag. Send that to her. Don't send that to her either. I'm not allowed to talk about her. All right. No. But yes, it took an hour 40 to get home yesterday. It was painful.
God, an hour 40 to
Oh,
go from
mercy.
Mira Mesa Boulevard in the 805 to where?
North Park, El Cajon Boulevard.
An hour 40.
It took 40 minutes to get on the effing 805. It just took forever to get on.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, mileage
We have
wise,
got
is
to
that
do something about that.
is that 20 miles even?
No, I think it's right about 20.
20 miles.
Hour 40.
Oh,
It just sucks. You're sitting there and you could see the 805. Not that it's moving, not that it's appealing. You could see the 805 and you just can't get on it. You're stuck. You're Chevy Chase and European Vacation. You're just stuck sitting there going, I can't get on there. I can't even get on. I can't even get on the weight. That's how bad it is on the 805. I hate it. I'm going to start taking a different route.
And
Or that
you're going to show
helicopter.
them.
and you don't tweet.
Yeah,
I'll show them by taking the 15.
right.
And no tweeting and all that
man.
stop and go traffic. No tweeting.
Well, I did take a picture of a rainbow. So that was nice.
15 miles is what Jordan Caruth is telling us. 15 miles.
Yeah.
Hour
Jordan's
40.
done it. He's done it. He's made that trek. He stole my credit card one day and had to drop it off. He said, I don't know how you deal with this every single day.
Wow. Couldn't do it.
Can't do it.
Couldn't do it.
That's why you head north.
Meant to start yesterday's crossover by letting you know that I watched Stable Boys on Fox News 2 nights ago.
Stable Boys.
It's on
Yes.
Fox
I didn't-
News.
Fox News. Right after, what's his name? The O'Reilly factor.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they were showing the Clipper game on Fox News, so I watched the Clippers in Detroit, and then they were teasing an episode of Stable Boys. So after the Clipper game, I got up and I did some stuff around the house, and I came back, and Stable Wars had just begun. So I watched the first 10 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you,
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when the jockey just aired you out. That was high-quality programming. I loved it. He aired you out, and he was ticked off at you. He said, don't you ever talk to me before a race again. And, boy, your tail went right between your legs.
Yeah. I actually took that scene, and I posted it on my Facebook page, and I think I put it out on my Twitter timeline last night because, I really did not like the first 4 episodes of the show, and now we're into the final 4 episodes, and the show's making this massive turn for home. And what I loved about this show was there was real horse racing, so there was real sports content. There was exciting racing, and then there was a lot of goofy hijinks also.
Goofy hijinks.
But it was there. This was the most real, and that scene with the jockey, that really, that was not choreographed like so much of this other garbage was. That was real, and and as much as I look like such a jerk, I loved it.
did.
I loved it.
And I'll tell you, he was ticked off at you when you hit him up in the paddock beforehand. I don't know if you realized that at the time, but you could tell when you started telling him, like you're telling the jockey, hey, I think you got to get to the rail. You got to run the race. Hey, it's a good horse. You got to run the rail. And he turned away. He had this look on his face for people that missed it when Scott's trying to tell him how to run. The jock, who was the jock?
Tyler Bays.
Tyler Bays. I thought that's what it was. Tyler turns, and he has this look on his face like,
Yeah.
who is this clown telling me how I'm supposed to run this race? And the look on his face was classic. And then, of course, he doesn't finish in the money, and you go right up to him, and he airs you out. It was good.
And then I love Dato's comment at the end of the scene. He's like, yeah, I think Scott learned his lesson about telling the jockeys what to do. How about did you see the one scene where we're in the bar, we're in Bullies in Del Mar, and the Asian chick Selma that you can never understand a word she says? Do you know? Okay, and then I didn't realize. Linda, did you see this or did you not see it?
I did not. It's ready to go. It's all taped up and ready to go.
I shouldn't
but
even
now,
talk about this. I should just let this
ahead.
flow.
but I know what
on.
Darren was talking about. You yelling at the jockey.
No, him yelling at me.
Well, he
good.
did yell at you, but you had no, really. You
like,
telling
what?
him what to do.
Don't listen to
And,
me.
and in that moment, I think he would have beat you down.
He was feisty. Yeah, he was definitely feisty.
He was all steroided out on peanuts or something.
Half a peanut.
Right,
That's all they can have.
half a
The
glass
scene
of
in the
water.
bar that you're describing
Yeah.
seemed a little manufactured.
It
for me. Like,
was.
what are all these people doing dressed in the middle
course.
of the day? And everybody had a perfect cocktail in front of them.
Right.
Like,
That's
it
what I'm
seemed a little
saying.
staged.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's why.
That's why I like the Olympic skier.
Yeah,
She's the most casual of the crew, I
Right.
think, and it's tough for her to kind of get all glammed up, which isn't a bad thing. But it's like I look
What?
at it. She just she's more casual. I like her.
Now, Darren, this is the episode where your girls from The Amazing Race take over.
I didn't stick around very long, but I
John
did catch
Wayne's
the first 10
granddaughter?
minutes.
Yeah, John Wayne's granddaughter and the other girl from The Amazing Race. Yeah, they kind of take over at the end. They join the Flying Phillies.
Season finale, Friday night. Amazing Race.
Oh, really?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, season finale Sunday, Homeland. Nobody?
No.
Sorry.
All right, so Darren put Amazing Race on the table. I put Homeland on the table.
The Good Wife.
Okay, Linda has The Good Wife.
Love The Good Wife.
Billy Ray?
Come on. 10 News.
He likes The Good Wife. He likes The Good Wife too.
That is the good wife.
10 News.
10 News.
Oh, my
dog.
God.
Come
Dude, it's got
on.
everything.
You're so
Got
whipped.
drama. It's got
whipped.
action. It's
So
sports.
whipped.
Oh, my goodness.
You love her. You're weird.
He loves the dude that she's with.
It's Pat Brown. It's got a crush on Pat Brown.
That's great.
Big fan of his. Oh, man. God, 10 News.
Closer.
Seriously, dude.
Dude.
You don't have one TV show that you're allowed to say, I mean, other than 10 News? Come on. Give me one TV show.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What do you like?
NFL football. What? Charger Insider. What? What's your problem, dude?
Jeez.
I like it. I do. So, Darren, sounds like the Padres here are getting ready to make some moves this afternoon. Is that the case?
Sounds like it. I think they've made one. I don't know if they've officially announced it, but they've made one, and it sounds like the Kemp deal is on its way. Has to be completed by tomorrow, and everybody's speculating about Kemp potentially failing a physical. I don't think that's the case now, so certainly all systems exciting. You know, listen, you said it last week. It takes a lot. You know, Chargers urgency. This is a really urgent week for them. You guys have talked a little bit, stadium talk. It takes a lot for the Padres last couple of years to interrupt our Charger flow with the playoffs as a possibility. Phillip Rivers not practicing. And the Padres have managed to do it. So
Yeah.
I do think kudos to them for doing that.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I'm watching on the Major League Baseball channel right now. They're showing a video of this kid, Will Myers. And is that the one that you're saying is done? Or is it
I think so, yes.
Okay, well,
Yeah, Twitter's saying that it's done.
Twitter is.
Twitter.
All right, well, we know
then
Darren
it's
is not a
done.
big fan of Twitter. We know he doesn't.
Because I don't retweet as soon as Scott wants me to. Why don't we get Billy Ray to retweet this stuff?
Billy Ray is not. Nobody even asks him. You know, they're like, Billy Ray, come on,
No.
get involved. Retweet, tweet, share on Facebook, do something.
No.
Like it on Instagram.
I do that, but I do it under an alias.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So you don't know.
Really?
Yep.
That defeat the whole purpose, though?
Yeah, pretty much.
Linda, you see there's a big Facebook war going on today. It goes back to what Darren
Oh,
just stirred the pot a little bit further with Mark Fabiani being on the air. What do you think of Fabiani and his answers today, Darren?
Well, what did you think? That's more important.
What's the war?
Well, the war on Facebook is that people are all over it. But just about how yesterday the press release came out at like 6 o'clock. And Darren, you asked Mark Fabiani why yesterday, and he said, "Well, it's kind of when we normally do this." And it was the timing was a little strange yesterday.
Midweek.
Well, not just
Or
that. I mean,
early
it's like you just had
evening.
Sanders on, then you had Falconer on, and then like 2 minutes after you get off the air, they're like, "We're making an why?" How did all that come together? Is that a weird coincidence?
Or
Do they work in
calculated.
conjunction with City Hall? Do they say, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, this is what we're going to do. We're going to, are they working together in this sort of stuff to make this sort of announcement?" Because then, with respect to the interview, then everything Faulkner says kind of, it becomes a little bit dated, and then you got to go back to him and you got to get another comment. Hey, what do you think about them staying for another year? So, I agree. It was a little bit bizarre.
Yeah. So then what happened is I put out the press release. As soon as I got it, I put it on Facebook and Twitter and whatever else. And people started, kind of taking their shots. Some people are, very pro stadium, and other people are just anti-LA. Like this first guy says, "Hey, LA, suck it," and that's kind of a nice thing to say to somebody.
Yeah, that'll get a stadium built.
around the holiday season,
L.A., suck it.
Yeah, and then
And Merry Christmas.
Right. And then some people say, like, blow it up and rebuild the place, and then 14 years, this is pathetic and all this other kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, somebody jumps into this, and there's like 50 some odd comments here. And all of a sudden, a guy jumps in whose name you might be familiar with, Darren. His name is ATL Earl.
Oh, wow.
Remember
Never
that
heard
guy?
of him.
Oh,
Never heard of him, huh?
Yeah.
really?
ATL Earl. One-time 1090 host.
Big time.
ATL Earl. And he says, "You're not telling the whole story." So people started asking him, "Well, what do you know, ATL Earl?"
What do you know?
And then people started saying, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," and all this other kind of stuff. And he took it really personally. Like he got really offended right away and went almost to the race card. I mean, one step away from the race card. Did you see this, Linda? Did you hear what ATL Earl said?
No, I
He said-
didn't.
He goes, You're right. I don't know anything. I'm just some loudmouth guy who was on the radio that scrubs toilets for a living. And then he puts a picture out of him and former Mayor Sanders,
Oh,
which is to
geez.
intimate that I'm somebody. Mm-hmm. I'm a happening dude.
Intimate.
Yeah. I'm a real dude. I know stuff. I
I'm
know
connected.
people. I know people.
Yep.
So then I said to him, "Well, why don't you come on the radio today and
Oh, what a great idea.
tell everybody what you know?" Mm-hmm. And he said, "No, maybe one day I'll call, but you know."
He's got toilets
So
to
what did
scrub.
he intimate? That they're leaving?
Oh, no, he just says that we're not telling the whole story.
Oh.
Yeah. So then it just turned into
Well-
a racial conversation. My opinion.
Okay. Well, that seems like a
It
logical
always does,
progression.
doesn't it, Scott? It always does.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway. So, Mark Fabiani. I think that it's pretty interesting to me, Darren, that JMI, as Mark says, well, they kind of know what they're doing, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
I would say they all walked away really, really wealthy from
Yeah.
downtown development.
By the
but
way-
I don't. Do you think that JMA's involvement helps public perception or hurts in the court of public opinion?
I don't think nearly as many people know of negative publicity as you might think. I just don't think that it's. I don't think it's quite as visible as those of us who cover it, follow it, remember it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would just say that.
And we should probably disclose the fact that that we are employees, correct?
Well,
Is that how
JMI.
to
Well, here's
phrase
what we talked about this yesterday. JMI owns
Yeah, they're an
1090.
investor in this station.
Well, not an investor. They own it. JMI owns BCA, the company that owns 1090. JMI is the parent company. So, and I said to our general manager, I said, well, why don't we get somebody on from JMI to tell us what the JMI plan is? And by the way, I'm shocked that, because if I owned this radio station, even if I was like a company removed, I'd be like, look, we got to start pushing our agenda. Our agenda is to build this downtown stadium. We're developers. Right. That's what we do. This is good for our business. So start getting Scott and BR and start getting Darren, start getting everybody else at our mouthpiece to start pushing our agenda. And yet there's nobody from JMI. Well, I don't even know anybody from JMI except John Moores, and even that's at a distance.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
So that's kind of weird. I think.
It's like really, really weird.
It's a pretty. That's an on the verge of a old school Vinny Barbarino.
Yeah, not bad.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah. Four people got that reference.
I thought it was Christopher Walken.
Did you?
Bit.
Did
Little
you?
bit. Little Christopher Walken-ish. Was good.
Walking, he's the best, man.
Anyway,
Why don't we get him to build a stadium?
I don't. How do you? Hello,
You just
Mr. Walken.
get him on the phone?
How are you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
just
he's an interesting
got a
guy.
couple
Let's
of
get him
billion.
involved somehow.
Can't hurt
Listen,
to ask. Can't
you
hurt to
get Christopher
ask.
Walken stumping for a new stadium. You're getting a 2/3 vote if you get Walken on the case.
Oh, really?
Just saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have
Do you
no
disagree?
idea. Has he done this other places in the country?
Well,
All he's got to do is stand in front of City Hall and say something
And
about
do
more
his
cowbell,
thing.
You need
and
more
the whole
cowbell.
city will go
Cowbell.
nuts. Hey, you know what that stadium needs? It needs more
More
cowbell,
cowbell.
and more stadium. And the whole city will fall for it. You can't say no to that guy when he's doing that bit. What the hell are we talking about?
I'm game.
no
I gotta go.
Let's try it.